Hello and welcome back, everybody, to the Rally Cry halftime show after game one of our first match for playoffs. Look at that. Fear continuing their momentum, picking up their first win over Evil Geniuses Challengers. Before we get into the game show, I want to take some time to kind of recover from that because it looked like EG were taking it. That Baron steal from Soul was clutch, but there was a crucial moment. I know that the two of you caught on cast, but I want to reiterate it. That they weren't spawned. Ryoma didn't have the Baron buff when he TP'd down. Like, if they had those members spawned, if there was like 2 seconds later, that could have been a very different game.
A little bit. I think it was a tough one for EG because really their only play was to play through the Rise. So it led to as Toyota actually pointed out on Twitter, Scout for Flying Quest, a pretty low damage composition. So I think that EG maybe want to go back to the drawing board on that one, but I'll give them a lot of credit for how they played out the early game and also how Fear responded to it. That was a good game. Nice to see our team stepping up here in playoffs.
Their vision game, trying to find a lot of that early information was really nice to see, and a lot of the control around those objectives was really good.
All right, well, that's game number one. It is a best-of-3 series, so there's a chance. Yeah, we actually have best of 3 for once. Usually throughout the regular season, best of 2s. I love it for the number of games, but now we will see a definitive winner. There's no way to tie. If Fear take this next game, they 2-0. They continue in the upper bracket, but EG have a chance to 2-0 in the next 2 games and continue themselves. That's all going to be determined by the players while they get ready. We're going to play a little game here. It is the tournament anime arc right now going on. That's kind of the vibe that we're putting out for week number 1 here. So I'm going to ask the two of you, how much anime do you watch? Do you watch a lot of like tournament power arc stuff?
Used to. I know Cubby doesn't, but, you know, I've watched my fair share.
Full Swing on Netflix and anime. It's a documentary that covers the golf league.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I'm going to say no.
I'm going to guess there is a golf anime, though, so we'll have to find you that one, Cubby, because
all I'm watching in season is F1 Drive to Survive and Full Swing. So that's if that's not anime, then I guess I'm out, you know?
Well, there's a couple things called the anime character archetypes. So for anybody who watches a lot of anime, these should sound fairly familiar for you. There's the genius. They're naturally gifted, very good at pretty much everything they try and do. Doesn't mean that they don't work hard, but it means they have to work less hard to be good at things. Wow. Things like anime characters like Sasuke, Yugimoto kind of line up with that. Actually, I even have like a little bit of a visual here because we're going to be rating the players based on these archetypes. Then there's the hardworking. These are your Rock Lees and your Narutos. They have to put in a lot of effort, but they're willing to put in that effort, right? Then we have the quiet. We have quiet and mysterious. Definitely not Cubby either.
No, it's been magical.
Yeah. Oh. Well, quiet, maybe not as much.
I'm done derailing you. Keep going, yeah.
We got Piccolo, Itachi's in this category. The No Brains All Brawn. This is your classic Goku's. You know, you're just good. You're just strong, right?
Just good.
And then you got the lucky ones. These are your Ash Ketchums and your Mr. Satans from Dragon Ball.
Why are they lucky?
So it means that they find themselves in situations where they are able to perform to their best abilities, not necessarily because they were prepared for those moments.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So we're going to rank the players based on where we think they are at this point in their tournament arc. Not how we think they're going to end, but coming into the tournament. Where are they? Let's start with Soul from Evil Geniuses here.
The
Genius, the hardworking, the quiet and mysterious, the no brains, all brawn, and the lucky one. I want to hear your reasoning for it.
I have good ones for others, Mazel, but this one's all you.
Oh my God!
I'm putting a lot of pressure on you.
Can I get the full screen so I can see the stuff?
Yeah. Let's throw it up.
So much. Yeah. We couldn't see the text on the left. All right. I'm gonna say Soul is the hardworking.
The hardworking. Why is Soul the hardworking?
Because I feel like through his ups and downs in this split, it's not just that. It's a lot of growth from last year as well, and getting to see kind of his foray into the LCS, and the fact that we know that he is a grinder. He is a worker.
All right. Can I just...
Before you hop in, Cubby, I want to say this is the one that I was considering putting into Lucky because of that Baron steal, but it's okay because the hard work works for it too.
I'm gonna keep things moving here. I think that we have a couple no-brainers that we can just throw on the board, no questions asked. All right.
Okay.
So first off, I noticed that you have Top Lane listed.
Yes. Well, at the end, I wanted to rank just the lanes in general. But if you want, we can do that first.
I mean, that's no brains, all bronze.
We can just throw that in right now.
Put it in there. All right. Take care of top lane. All right. So that's it. And then also, I would like to put Perry as well in the hardworking category.
Ooh.
Perry and hardworking.
I was going to
okay.
put him as genius.
I want to shout out Perry. Actually, we could put him in genius too, but I do want to shout out Perry. Twitch.tv/Perry Jungle LOL. He streams a lot. He's been talking about how that's actually been helping him build up confidence.
Yep.
And definitely go check out his stream. He had also a great post about how he, on Reddit, that got front page about how he like reviews games through his Excel sheet. And he talks a lot through that process on his stream. So definitely go check him out. I'm going to give him hardworking,
impressive,
as he is a player that is doing more than just playing. He's streaming, he's tweeting, he's making Excel sheets. I'm a fan, you know.
Okay.
That.
Well, how about let's just do this? Let's just bounce back and forth and draft one, since Cubby just went right past all the EGG members.
I mean,
what do you want to rank?
Top lane's so easy. I mean, come on.
Top lane's so easy. Oh my goodness.
It's not easy. Oh, it's easy to place. It's not easy.
I'll say mobility goes into the lucky one.
Okay.
Just because he is lucky to still be in the situation, but he's performing to his utmost ability in the moment.
Absolutely.
And, there you
Take
go.
the opportunities you're given as a player. King's not available to play for the first weekend of playoffs. Mobility has been putting in work all season. The lucky one doesn't mean a negative. Usually we think of like lucky as in like, oh, you just got lucky. But this is like, no, like you're using the opportunities you're given. You're in a situation where you can succeed. So I like that. That's good.
All right. Can we put Marksman in the lucky run one? Because they build crit.
I love that you're just going straight for all of the.
No, they build crit. So just throw them in there.
We're supposed to wait till the end. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not giving you
You're derailing.
I'm pairing them up. All right.
All right, we'll do that later. All right, give me a player, Cubby.
I'm gonna put Shochi in the no brains all brawn. All right. Now the reason I say this. No. The reason I say this is because he plays Tryndamere mid. All right. Now that does take brains to play because it is a good champ. That champ's actually busted. So props to Shochi for having the brains to play it. But that also is an all bronze champ. All bronze, champ. So Shochi, he plays the fighters. He's in there. All right.
All right. I like that.
Now,
okay.
Can we put Marksman in the lucky one because they're the only one that builds crit?
Well, fine.
I'm trying to keep the segment moving, Kang.
Let's move it. Let's move it. All right, Marcel, what you got?
By putting it down.
Oh God. I'm gonna put Faisal in the no brains all brawn.
He is a top laner. That does make more sense.
Side so well.
But he plays weak side.
No, I actually have him in the genius category. That's what I was
my
gonna
God.
Okay. Are you okay with that, Mazel?
Do you have an argument?
Yeah, this guy's actually like he's a really smart player in the top side. And I don't think he's your stereotypical top laner. In fact, I think he actually might be he might benefit from being more in this category because I've seen his Fiora play, but we're gonna throw him in the genius category.
Okay.
Mazel, are you okay with that?
Yeah, fine, but then I get to do another one.
Yes,
yeah, that's fair. Mazel, throw out another one.
So I'm gonna do quiet and mysterious to Smoothie, even though he's the veteran. I feel like he's not much of a trash talker. He's kind of a kind guy.
Can I put Trevor in there too? And then can we just throw support in there?
Sure. You know what?
Why not?
For the sake of moving the segment along, as Cubby likes to say, yes, let's do it. The supports are quiet and mysterious. I think it also applies to Trevor in a way.
I mean, Trevor's actually kind of outgoing, but he is the Trevor Royce. So he's definitely the quiet, mysterious one.
When I got to work out with Fear, they called him the Machine. Trevor the Machine.
Oh my God.
No music, no speaking, no noise, just pushing the most weight out of anybody.
Of the weight.
Oh God. Okay, that's
the creaking
scary,
of the metal.
Yeah.
That's what
is intimidating for sure. All right, what about Shaden? What do we think for Shaden?
That's a hard question, actually. I don't see one that if there was like a cocky and strong, I would do that one.
I'm gonna put him in a genius category.
Put him in genius.
I'm arguing genius, and the reason why is because the genius does not necessarily mean that you don't work hard. It means that you are naturally talented and gifted in an area,
which is
so
very
you are
true
able
about
to
Shaden.
excel in that area quickly. I feel like Shaden has clear strength, and he likes to play to those.
He's also rank 1 and rank 2 in the ladders, so that kind of plays in the genius thing.
Ooh, there we go.
All right, I'd also just like to throw jungle in the genius category because that is the most blessed role in NA. All right.
Okay.
Jungle is blessed.
All right, I like that.
Now I was tempted to put support in the hardworking category because we have all these role swaps to support. So you got to work your ass off to actually change the support. But given that mid lane, you have to play all the champs, we'll just throw mid in there. That's
all right, mid lane,
and then we're done. I also
done.
We do have Ryoma.
Hold on.
Ryoma and Manui.
We're done with the rules.
Yes.
What he was really focused on.
Part of me wants to put Manui in the hardworking category because of how much better he is this split. He has improved a lot. Again, this is a player where I was a coach in some tryouts, and I saw a lot of tryout tape. Manui was not doing well in tryouts this past offseason. I thought he'd be one of the weaker bot laners based on that tape, and he has not been that. Him and Trevor have been good, and I want to give Manui a lot of credit for being a different player from what I saw in tryouts this past offseason. Definitely deserved on his part.
All right, what do we
I
think
get the
then,
last
Mazel?
one. Oh God. I'm freaking out. It's either genius or hardworking. I think one of the two. Maybe if we could do it in the middle. Again, I feel like in the middle of those two is perfect. Let's do.
You know what? Give him the lucky one. He got one LCS win. You know.
You know what? I'm okay with that.
Whatever. Fine.
big sub Ryoma, man. He stepped in. He played that as ear, and now it's now
he keeps stealing my.
You know what? Mazel, I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna find a way to put it in the middle. I can't do it now, but I'll send you a picture later.
Perfect. I need confirmation. Picture didn't happen.
Kangas is the one moving it. I'm just throwing out ideas. So like that's encouraged here in our I'm trying to add color.
For now, I'm gonna put him in Genius so it balances out a little bit.
Okay.
But then I'll try and find a way later. All right. So this is our final list. We have the Genius category: hardworking, quiet and mysterious, no brains, all brawn, the lucky one, along with the positions themselves. I think that's a good baseline for any fans who might not be aware of these players and their stories to go into the beginning of the tournament arc.
Yeah, I think it's been an interesting start to it as well, especially seeing the way the game went. I know Cubby in the downtime was saying, it was actually a really good game for both sides, but both sides played to their strengths and Fear played to their late game, and it worked really well for them.
Speaking of, can they continue to play to their strengths? His pick and ban is ready for game number 2, so I'm going to get out of here and give it back over to Mazel and Cubby.
Bye, Kangas. We'll see you afterwards if we get another halftime show or if we get an interview. We'll see. Fear are on the blue side yet again, while EGC on the red side. We'll probably see the 3 bans that we saw last time levied towards Shaden, and it is so far Graves, the Kindred, the Olaf ban by EGC as well again.
Curious to see what kind of adaptations we see from EG. I think that their comp, the Senna Kench with Cho'Gath, that's not a lot of damage. So I think that actually Fear taking away these few junglers, that kind of threw a wrench into the plan. So far it's a same draft duplicate, and I think that where we will see a difference, likely going to be either that mid lane pick or also just changing up the bot lane in the Senna Kench.
Yeah, getting something with a little bit more oomph in the late game, probably.
Okay.
And we do get the Xayah locked. I know we were talking about that a little bit in the first draft, but here it is for EGC. Probably just locking in that Lovers Duo at this point.
You could take jungle if you would like to hide that. But Xayah was tuned down a little bit in this patch. I will say I think she's still the same champion. And talking with a lot of the pros,
I would hope she is.
They're like, hey, you know what? Like with Navori, it's really not that big of a change. Just tune down the damage a little bit. And Xayah, I think, was a little bit overtuned. So it is a tad weaker, but this is a bot lane that EG not only has been good at, but also I've given Fear and Manui a lot of credit for his Xayah play in particular. So it is a little bit of a deny from Fear as well.
Yeah, it absolutely is. I think that's going into that kind of respect we wanted to see in the draft. We do get the Thresh, though, for Trevor. We'll see what the lock-in is for bot lane. Should be that of Aphelios.
Yeah, as Manui, fun fact about Manui, he was actually, back in 2021, he was the marksman under Arrow. As Arrow was playing for Wildcard, Manui was on the Wildcard developmental squad. I think Arrow, known for his Aphelios back then, it was really good. So Manui, we'll see if he can channel some of that as he is picking up the Aphelios for this game. And gotta say, Manui, that's the second play on Aphelios for the split. So, of course, Aphelios Thresh definitely new, given the changes that we had to Thresh. And also a little bit of extra power for Aphelios too.
This also unlocks Trevor to get on the map a little bit more, apart from that Soraka trying to get out of lane. We do get that Talia, though. Again, something that can affect out of mid lane for Ryoma.
Curious. So I think we're going to see maybe a LeBlanc ban, as LeBlanc got buffed, and that is a good matchup for LB mid.
We did see it last time around.
Yeah, but at the moment, it does look like they might be setting up that Cho'Gath on 4 again, which means that Shaden would actually get 5-pick for EG, unless we're going to get crazy and flex the Talia, as Shaden is a really good Talia player.
I was going to say, there's a slight possibility, but I think the way that we're reading, if we get crazy, which at this point, save themselves from the bottom bracket in this playoffs would be nice. We do get that Gwen and the Camille ban away from Faisal, and the Vi actually ban away, so more of that facilitation taken from Shaden.
So you can't really ban Show on 4, because then if you ban Show, then they pick Scion, and your answers to Scion are way less. So Fear has to just take away another jungler, most likely, unless they feel like that Taliyah isn't going to be going.
What do you do about the Ornn from last game, though?
I mean, I think the Ornn worked okay. You can play it into the Scion as well. But yeah, with Show taken off the board, I mean, it's just an easy Scion now for Soul. And we'll see what kind of answer Faisal has up his sleeve, as top lane has been taking a few hits. So Faisal going to have to go down his pool. I am expecting to see a Cassante or a GP.
Would be interested to see that kind of response into the Scion, as we've seen that answer be Cassante sometimes, and try to take a little bit more of that aggressive stance with it.
Wait, GP got nerfed this patch.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know about the GP. Man. It is such a big patch. It like literally 3 days for these teams to get ready for it. But we do get that Cassante locked in for Fear.
Yeah. Well, we will see how they wrap things up. I think that it could just be an Orianna pick. Buy a lot of space against Scion. So, huh? Annie would be curious to me, because this actually would open up. Again, we're still having the back of our heads that Taliyah, you're seeing that on 3. It's a little bit early. So is it going to be a Shaden pick, or is it going to be a Ryoma pick?
Well, we get the Annie locked in, at least for now. This will be the first time that Shochi pilots it, I believe, for this split. Now we'll see what that kind of pickup is here for Shaden. He wants to go for that aggressive stance. Maybe this at least being left open is a ticket to that. But again, it's more about how is he going to pair up with Ryoma on this Taliyah pick. And we might be getting it here. It is locked in, so it should be the Taliyah for Shaden.
I gotta say, not like we didn't see it coming. It is really good to the Wukong, because you can lay down the rocks, so if Wukong dashes, you get stunned. You can divine the flick too. I like the matchup, and Shaded, he is really, really good on this pick. So
he really is.
I'm curious now to see what the game plan is, because for EG, it's going to be much of the same, where it's about mid-priority with the Tristana, and then what Shade and the Ryoma can do on the map. They should have bot pressure. It's going to be about, can EG go affect that lane? Can they go get bot and make sure that they actually have a lead they can run with? This time around, their comp is enough damage to actually back that. So I think it was a good game from EG. Like, they played well in game 1, just didn't really have the damage to team fight at all later, and weren't able to play through the Rise. A couple small adaptations, we could get to game 3 here, as it was a good look from EG.
I like to see this adaptation in the series as well, and giving a little bit more comfort over. I remember I was looking up stats for Pretty, who was a pretty nice Taliyah last year, and looking right under that, all the KDAs were literally shading on Taliyah, and so I'm really excited to see him pick this one out. Give Ryoma, this Tristana, a little bit more of that damage center profile you were talking about, and getting a little bit more early on here, at least to stabilize themselves. As we hit the Rift for the second time of the day, it's Fear on the cusp of pushing themselves to the upper round 2, while EGC need a comeback and a bit of a miracle.
Could get a little bit goofy here with Rakan too, as you can run a lot of level 1s with Rakan.
Say? Have you seen the Goofy movie? Trevor has.
All right, so that's a flash. It's a good start now, because Smoothie, you can guarantee an engage on the Trevor with a flash of your own. So that gives Shaden a target to work towards on the Taliyah. To get warded out, and it will not be a sweeper start for anyone in EG. So a lot of info going over to Fear. Nice response, but still a flash off Trevor. That's a small win early.
So this is something we didn't see last game, was necessarily that level 1 vision from Fear. We saw it a little bit later on, kind of counter visioning, but it is something that EG used very well last game. It was this vision control. I'm very much looking to see how this works out. But if you want to get in on the conversation, make sure you're spamming in chat who you think's going to win. Fear in chat for Fear. Think of that. EGC in chat if you're an Evil Geniuses fan here. And right now, the Fear are in droves. You'll see the top side start for Shaden, the top side start for Perry.
And Shaden doing a nice job of kiting things out against Taliyah. Definitely a pick that we have seen him perform very well on with C9. Fun fact, actually, playoffs this past year, Mazel, Perry, when he was on Dignitas, he was the one that actually did 2-0, or 3-0, I should say, C9 when he was on Dig and took down Shaden. So Perry, again, talking with him earlier, definitely recognizes Shaden for being a very talented mechanical jungler. A lot of respect towards him, as we can also see in Draft, as he hit 3 bans, first 3 in each of our games. He is very good. But of course, Perry, he said, I took him down first. I can take him down again. So we'll see if he can put that together and find a 2-0 this time around against Shaden.
And that's where I always love going back to kind of the outside stories, the outside perspectives for both these two teams. When we were talking about Perry and Faisal facing their developmental org in EG, when they were a part of the EG Prodigies, and a little bit of the backstory between Perry and Shaden as well for Shaden last year. So definitely some extra things to focus on for these players coming to this one, but mobility using the cleanse. Okay.
All right. Well, we'll get a nice zoom on the new a new skin here for the Zyra Khan as cannon secured there by Trevor. Nice. And EG, again, a lot of it is about the early pressure that they can have in these lanes. They win mid, they win bot. Good to see EG making good use of that.
Also love to see that we are getting that flexibility from the mid laners. Obviously, Ryoma playing the Tristana, pretty prevalent, at least in the ending parts of the split. But Shochi expanding a little bit to the Annie that has been propping up in prevalence, and want to see how it works into the Tristana, especially once he gets tippers. Like Tristana's day, not going to be as fun.
And the big thing about Annie right now is that you do win like pretty much every mid jungle 2v2 when you do have Annie on your team. Tristana, you can break that because you can buffer the stun. And that would be a nice mind game from Shochi because Tibbers is instant, but the Q travels. Kind of play around with the shield and see what happens. So, Trevor,
nice setup, but the double knockup for the grand entrance. Manui flashing forward, trying to get mobility. One more shot. He has no cleanse, and the first blood goes to Perry. Shaden and Ryoma have come. Flash is coming over. The shift is not going to be enough. Ryoma can't get it. He gets flayed back in the middle of his rocket jump. And Fear come away with everything in the early part.
And Fear, I mean, when we're talking about the good teams in League of Legends, it's about what small mistakes happen that you can punish. Cleanse being used early by mobility, that's such a small thing, but Fear, they cash it in, they get a kill. They make sure that Perry, and he gets first blood, but also Manui in these earlier stages of the lane, where things are a little bit difficult for the Aphelios Thresh. He's now in much, much better shape. So, Fear, I just love how these guys play as a team, Mazelle. It's just a reoccurring thing. They take small things on the map, they turn them into big leads for themselves, and Fear's off to a much better start in this game compared to game one.
They absolutely are, and I think when we were looking through the regular season for Fear, it was a conversation of, okay, are they the real deal now? Are they the real deal now? And weeks go by. Are they the real deal now? Finally, when we're getting to like week 7, we're like, oh, okay, these guys are the real deal. But the time to prove it is now. It is playoffs. It is saying that, yes, they deserve to be here, but do they deserve to stay? And so far, with the way we saw game 1 play out, and so far the early game of game 2, I think the answer is clear.
I gotta say, this is a team. I love this. It fires me up. They keep receipts, man. They actually keep the receipts. Like when people trash talk them, that was something that we talked about on broadcast. And I mean, rightfully so, right? Their strength schedule in the second round robin because they hadn't played Dignitas. They hadn't played 100 Thieves. They hadn't played C9, right? These are all the top teams that we had. And they got 0-2. Like they had an 0-4 week.
Yeah.
The first time, like we teased it. So they really had to like band together and prove, hey, you know what? Like, we are better than these teams. We can compete with everyone on the top of the table. They had a really tough second half of the split when it comes to their schedule. They answered that. The fact they conquered that just gave us even more confidence in this team moving into playoffs. Yeah. So, good start for Fear in this game, but at the moment, it still is mid-priority, bot priority for the side of EG, and they're going to use this to try and take the first dragon.
It is indeed. Matt from Fear saying, can't beat the power of friendship. I know we highlighted earlier, but it is literally just 5 guys in a dream.
Hold on.
We'll see if they can contest this dragon here as Ryoma and Shaden a little bit weak early on. We are going to get this flip here. Perry coming in about 1,500 on the dragon. Here comes Manui as well. Dragon goes to Perry. The flash tippers on a 3. Oh my God! You think it's the start of a horror movie here in game 2, and EGC are the victims.
Oh, and the star of the horror movie, it's the kid. It's Annie. It's Tibbers, man. That was a scary bear as it found 3, and the dragon goes over to Fear, and just like that, this comp we said for EG, all right, it's about lane priority, making plays with Talia off of Shaden. It's been doused. Already EG's fishing. Look at this.
Oh, Smoothie has like 300 health, but they want to try to make something happen here. Manui able to,
wait.
The
There's going to be split recalls. They're going to wait.
See if they can make something happen here. Just see him walk into the bush. The back should get stopped. It's not stopped. Oh no. All right, Manui will get punished here. Shaden not even coming this way. Smoothie is the one that gets the kill, so that's a bit unfortunate.
A little bit of a bummer there, but still nice play by EG. Ryoma, back when this guy was on 100 Thieves Academy, I know that his teammates, like Chad, this is coming from Chad, he's like, yeah, Ryoma's like the king of cheesing, man. So the fact that Ryoma, again, finds that play is huge, but the big play, it was the Tibbers from Shochi.
Look
as you can see him
man.
prepping up the stun. Fear, they find everyone. It's a flip from EG. They know it.
Oh,
they
God, they
lose
all
out.
move together. Oh, God,
Yeah.
I can't watch.
Yeah, they lose out on the flip, and they lose out as the bear finds them all. That Tibbers he was not happy about that.
He was not. Smoothie able to use a little bit quick move to get out, but that is the advantage to Fear. 2,000 gold in the lead, sub 8 minutes. They've gotten that dragon now as well. We'll have Rift Herald spawning up here very, very shortly, and Fear already putting a lot of presence up here as well.
Oh, man. And there was already a little bit of a stronger smite there for Perry, so he actually
Why
says
you gotta do him like this, guys? Come on.
Oh,
Leave
boy.
him alone. Leave him alone.
Boy. At top side, we got to look. I mean, everything's kind of falling apart here for EG. Shaden just lost out on the top side of this jungle as Perry 6. He's ahead. He's 2-0-1, and Perry just asserting his will and his dominance on this Wukong. As red buff, theirs, Shaden forced on the other side of the map. And it's just going to be a free Rift Herald going over to the side of Fear. Not the game plan for EG as Tristana has shove. Bot lane has shove. You want to be able to rotate and actually support this Rift. But because of the lead that Fear has early, 2.5k gold, and Perry being so fed, he just gets to take this on his own.
And you were talking about how Perry has been very much favoring the Wukong and has been kind of the bread and butter for him, and getting it 2 times in a row just sets Perry up to feel confident. We were already talking about how much this guy puts in, that extra work, and it's really kind of showing to a head here. We'll see if Trevor Manui can dodge out of this gank bot side. It is the Dark Passage that gets Manui straight to safety.
It is the right answer from EG, but they aren't going to be able to actually get into the jungle of Perry to take away any of his camps. So it is 2 points going over to mobility. That is a feel good. But the camps for Perry, I mean, he's going to be feasting, and he is so fed still.
They're trying to catch out Shochi. Doesn't make it on the other side of the Weaver's wall, and this should be his life gone away. Tibbers did try to get something back. Shaden getting chased down by Tibbers now. Should get pushed back at least. And a little bit of a bounce back from EG in the mid lane.
Nice punish. Nice roam from Smoothie, making sure that they were able to 3-man the Annie, who, of course, is flashless. As it was a really good setup coming out of the side of EG. And Fear now being first on the map. See if they have any response. Perry skipping over all of his camps to try and find a play on the bot side. But Smoothie's here. And honestly, EG, this game's in bad shape for them. They were at 2.5k gold. They have an early game comp. That play, they at least were able to pick up some gold, Mazel. Like, that was a pretty good answer.
Got it about in a couple hundred down. But it is more so about trying to get these item spikes for them and get a little bit of stability around the map. I think something we got to check in on is how Faisal's matchup into Soul is going. And I'd say going pretty well. Just up about 30 CS or so.
Yeah, of course, Perry not alone in trying to take down the old team here.
Yeah.
Faisal had 2 splits with Evil Genius Prodigies where I felt like he was a very strong
Mobility,
player.
run away. Mobility, just run. Run away. There you go.
He's waiting for the control word. As Perry takes that. Will be plates and a Herald drop and everything fed over to Aphelios as EG just cannot contest.
See the drop there. Got the engage though. Nice little CC. Does actually catch Perry. And Perry goes down. Smoothie gets himself another kill. As the Rift Herald should not get this tower. The day is saved, at least on the pot side of EG.
Okay, well, that's a mistake out of Perry. Something that EG, again, I think they really need in this game to make sure they're getting back into this one. Good find by Smoothie, who, as you highlighted in our last halftime segment, definitely one of the bigger talkers on this team. That's now 2 really positive plays from Smoothie to help get EG back in this one. Kind of sad he's actually picked up 2 of those kills. I know that he would like his teammates to have those, but hey, they'll take them nonetheless.
You do get those first item spikes coming across the board here. Gale Force for mobility. We've got the Bloodthirster start for Manui. You also have the Divine Sunder Frostheart for the top side of the map of Fear. You have the Dragon on the table. This would be second Dragon for Fear. We said last game where they do typically like to put a lot of onus on these early objectives. Looks like they're doing that now.
It still is in the camp where EG cannot contest Perry. Perry dying there, it does set him a little bit, I don't want to say behind, as he's still very much ahead of the curve, but I mean, Wukong is so strong when you have level 9 of the Divine Sunder, and Perry, he's so far ahead, he already has that Sunder finish, so I think EG paying respect to that is the correct move.
Second Dragon does bite the dust, fitting that it is the Mountain Dragon. And we'll see exactly what we get as our soul. It'll be the Hex Tech Soul. So back-to-back, some pretty influential souls so far.
And EG, I mean, at the moment, I still really don't know like what they can look for or where they can answer. I think the game plan is just to play around Smoothie, maybe Shade and Smoothie can sync up and use Rakan to set up Talia for some big upfront damage. But honestly, Shaden just needs to get back in the game because this isn't... Talia is a pick where you want to get ahead and you can snowball really hard given how fast she clears camps and how much damage she does. But because of how this early game went, Shaden's been set behind and he's kind of forced to play catch-up here.
It's going to be hard coming by those catch-up mechanics. We do get that Roa actually locked in for Shochi, so we'll start scaling in that fashion. Now we get another play to Ryoma, and I like this move from EG just to try to get as much gold as possible into this double ADC comp.
Yeah. And then we now have the bot lane of Fear matching, and some of the strength is that they can actually use this to play into the top side, where it looks like Fear might be looking to attack the Scion, sometimes a trap card. But Soul now aware of it.
Shaden's on his way as well. Does have Weaver's Wall.
Yeah, they're looking to take the camps again. I love this from Fear. Like, they're shifting their powerful members of the team right now, who is ahead, to go take more resources on the Rift, and Fear just playing this game out in this lead really clean.
Smoothie going to spot out that there's a little bit of something going on, a little bit of a party for Fear being at least happening in their jungle. Now they will wrap around for this topside gank on a Soul. Smoothie is here. The rest of EG besides Ryoma are on their way as well, but the stun comes through and Soul's getting locked out so heavily. He flashes. Moonlight Vigil does not get the damage needed. The shield for Smoothie is enough.
Oh, that was a little bit close from Soul. You know, played on the edge there as the Scion. But hey, he did his job. He tanked up all the damage he could. And he should be able to TP. There is a ward behind Fear. Now, he did burn his ult, so I'm not expecting any play. But Smoothie, he is playing back. Okay, EG, they're thinking about it.
Here they come. Smoothie's going in. Ooh. Misses the Grand Entrance, trying to get the quickness onto Shochi. Ooh. Can't do it.
TP'd.
They got Ryoma here as well. A little bit of damage on Manui. The box comes through.
Danny. Yeah.
Fear is able to maneuver out of that one.
I think Smoothie needed to flash. If we get a replay of that, I think the Smoothie needed to flash a little bit earlier to make sure that he was guaranteed to connect with the combo. As Manui, nice reaction flash by him, gets him out. EG, they burned a lot to try and make that play, and they're going to lose a lot as it didn't work out. Mid melts to the white gun of Aphelios, and we'll see if Fear decides to reset and take this Herald too, because they still have the strength of the map.
Yeah, and they now have 3,000 gold in the lead. We've been fluctuating a little bit, but now it is firm and center for Fear. See Vision trying to be put down from EG. Again, it was a bright point for them last game just to have information around the map. That will be harder to come by as everything else has been as well. I wonder if they try to just get one of these towers down, get some of this standing gold that's left on the map for them.
Well, they still have Tristana by the Rift, so that tells me that EG, thinking about it, but Soul doesn't, they don't have TPs available anymore. So just trying to get whatever they can as EG. I feel like the late game hopes really fall onto Ryoma on this Tristana. If there's anything that can break the comp of Fear, it's going to be him. So, maybe Talia's enough space to buy for Trist. He has a Scion, too. I don't think EG's, doomed out of this game, but the heavily advantaged Fear, and it's not like Fear has major scaling issues. They're going to be just fine.
Yeah, they're going to be just fine. We'll see. Tibbers actually down in the top side of the map. Going to get Ryoma down. Able to get some decent poke with it, actually. And now Fear moving up into the top side of the jungle. Around this Rift Herald, Perry wants to find Ryoma. He has Flash available, so he should be able to get out of that one.
It's the whole team, though, rotating up from Fear as they found
still trying to go. Oh, my God, Ryoma taking a lot of damage. Now the rest of Fear coming this way. Flash Tibbers, or Flash damage, at least. Flash Annie. Is Annie or Tibbers more important? As now Fear actually utilizing a lot of that. Didn't get the flash out of Ryoma, but putting pressure onto EG.
Shaden got a Dark Harvest stack from the clone, so that's pretty lit. That's what EG got back. I guess we're just going to trade that one out for Rift Herald. There's still no play from EG. We'll see if they sniff around this Dragon, though, because Fear, they're making this play for Rift. About at the same time that Dragon's spawning, they can now shift their power into the bot side, which it looks like that is the game plan. But EG did burn a couple tools, like missing Tibbers for Fear and Flash from Annie. That is something that EG can actually look to target, and they have beaten Fear here.
Oh, they've already caught out Perry pretty well as well, but not enough damage back. Shaden's dead. Flashing, and he just goes down like that. No. Dragon is up. That means Fear are on Soul Point.
I mean, maybe if Soul's like able to ult through the river there from bot, it's doable, but Faisal would have caught him anyway. And Shaden just too far up on this Talia. Didn't have the help. It was a nice chunk, a decent idea, but he got pinched because of the priority in the bot side, and Fear, they find another freebie, and a lot of this is off their play on the map here, Mazel. It's just, these guys play as a team. I mean, it's a provisional team, but they're running loops around our Challengers teams, and the story of the entire regular season is continuing here in playoffs.
It really has, and that's the beauty of it, is it has been a journey for them as 5. As you get to talk to them every time behind the interviews, they're shouting out the structure they have behind the scenes, a lot of their coaching staff, analysts, things like that, helping them to some extent. But it is also just that friendship, that cohesion that comes. You got 5 guys trying to achieve a goal, and that goal is winning these NACL playoffs. And you get to see that on the red wall. Again, I have mentioned earlier in the early game, before game number 1, that it is difficult to see their growth over the entire split because there hasn't all been pretty. But it's looking pretty right now, and it's looking pretty towards the end of the split, which is what matters.
Again, this is a team where we don't really talk about them as a provisional team anymore. This is a team that deserves the respect of everyone in our league, and because they've earned it. And a lot of teams are giving them that respect now. So Fear, good start to their playoff run, but they still have to wrap up this first game.
Oh, no. The bricks are starting to pile on here for Shaden. Not able to get anything that way, as the nice little grand entrance quickness combo onto Perry. They get the TP completed, but the tower falls immediately after. And Shochi joining the fight now as well. They finally engage onto Soul. He's just getting chunked down. Smoothie trying to save it, but there's nothing left to save.
Shochi.
Maybe Faisal going forward. Faisal dying over there to mobility. Did use that cleanse. The Riptail trying to get another charge here.
Should be able to get the audit. Okay, so no secondary charge, but still, it is a win for Fear. And I love how forward and how confident Perry is playing. Going up against his old org, I know that, something that's been big for Perry in this past year is just, he's a young kid, and him getting used to playing on the stage, playing confident. It's something that Perry recognizes was an issue for him in the past, but it's something that he's put a lot of work into. And seeing how he's been able to assert his lead on the Wukong, who he thinks, or what he thinks is his best champion in both of these games today, Mazel, it's been a really good look for Perry and Fear.
Yeah, in the conversation, every time you talk to players around jungle,
Jesus
what
Christ.
a blind there, knowing that he was going that way.
Oh my goodness, Trevor. Okay, well, Thresh is back. Trevor, fortunately for him, the hands haven't fallen off yet. I feel like it's just the opposite, actually, as the only thing that actually saved Ryoma there was the Shirelias, which is well played from Smoothie, but, oh man, while all this was going on, really can't stop singing the praises of Fear here, Mazel. The solo game went their way, and they have not looked back.
It's just funny when you talk to a lot of players that they all focus, especially junglers. They're like, I want to face Perry. I want to fight Perry. Or you say, like, who stands out to you among the provisional junglers? It is Perry, and it's not alone just because of his skill on the Rift, but it's also how he approaches the game outside of it, trying to learn, right? He's had a very interesting journey to this point, and we get a little bit of a bush play here from EG. You were talking about cheese earlier. Shochi, are you lactose intolerant?
He's being smart right now. He sees Sion mid, and no one is showing on bot wave. Well played, Oh, hold on. Okay, hold on. Oh, well played, Shochi. Game of chicken pays off.
Game of chicken does. He gets the spider senses tingling. We'll be able to dodge out of that one. Again, they are just using this map so well from Fear, and it's been a track record over the last couple weeks. We've seen that now. On the bottom side, though, Faisal trying to get into a 1v2, maybe a little bit more so, as now Smoothie joining the fight. Ryoma does not get the kill. Shaden gets himself on the board.
That's nice. Of course, Shaden being the only magic damage on the team. That's important, but now he's got to go back to the Baron because this thing melts to Manui. He doesn't have White Gun, but we will have TPs from EG. They want this fight, and honestly, they're going to get it in time.
I don't know. It's getting a little bit low. EG decide to pull away. Baron goes over to Fear. Ryoma's on the back here. They got the engage onto Shochi. He has to get out of there. He has Tippers, though, and that Moonlight Vigil did a lot of work. Manui's left out by himself, though. He's going to have to flash. He flashes aggressively, and Fear are pushing to the limit as Soul will go down. Perry chases the back line down into the dirt, and that's an ace almost for Fear, as all they have to do is put the zombie back down.
The emotes come out there from Perry as Fear. Everyone should bot, right? Just start up the Baron. They secure it, but the fight after the death sentence from Trevor was so good. Ryoma was not able to do anything in that fight as he died with everything up thanks to the death sentence from Trevor. And now Fear, the map's theirs, and this series looking like it's theirs too.
It's looking like a 2-0. They'll take this inhib in mid lane. They should get the resets back out on the map for Soul Fight. And Fear have definitely showed what they are capable of here in this first series against EGC, who are like, maybe there's a difference coming into playoffs. Maybe there is some kind of magic that Shane and Rauma can perform here with the difference in the patch, but it's just not so. And almost 10,000 in the lead under 23 minutes are Fear.
Oh, hold on. That's
Trevor,
an aggressive,
a little bit of trouble. Okay, they're just all piling in. Well, we said commit to the bit, and Fear are committing full frontally. Red and white for Manui. He is just slicing away health bar by health bar. And Perry and Shochi clean up the backline. Shochi gets himself a triple kill, and this will be another inhib. They still have Baron for another minute and 20.
Well, that's the end of the game with some flair and style, as unfortunately for Perry, he does lose 100% of his KP. But oh boy, yeah, we're right there. Cincinnati Fear is absolutely a team to be feared, as their promo video said it today. Fear us. They kept the receipts. Perry, he was like, a lot of teams, they had us 15th, 16th place. Look at us now. It's not just regular season, baby. It's playoffs, too.
And on top of that, being able to 2-0 Shane yet again. And we'll see that team fight. It looked a little finicky, while Faisal bought so much time. And Manui free firing in the back, but it was Shochi and Perry really cleaning it up.
Yeah, Black Cleaver Wukong is pretty damn strong. As you can see, the damage that Perry's putting out. Just goes Beyblade over two of the members of EG. That's a fat gold lead for Fear. And we just cannot say enough good things about this team, man. I will say for EG, of course, probably going to drop the lower bracket here. I feel like they had better looks today. This team does keep improving. But just not enough for
They
Fear.
just don't care. They're just having fun.
Yeah, they have soul.
They
got
literally just get
gold.
to go around and have a good time on Summoner's Rift, as the top side should be the focus. It's the last remaining defenses there for EG.
And EG, I think they, again, you can take some positives away from today. I think game one, they played really well. The comps didn't have enough damage or gas in the tank for the 5v5. That can happen. This game, a couple of early flips not going their way. Maybe we didn't need to take those as EG. So something they can go back to the drawing board about. But still, EG looking to scale for playoffs. But at the moment, it is all Fear, man. Third inhib falls. And Fear putting the finishing touches on a wonderful series from them.
Yeah, they really are. And while EG will fall to the lower bracket and still have a chance at redemption, Fear, we had questions. We said regular season, it says they deserve to be here, but they needed to prove and show that they do. And one by one, as the EG pieces fall, it's Fear that rise to the top. And the playoffs look like the run from Cincinnati Fear, as the first series will go 2-0 in a sweep.
And man, that's gotta feel sweet for both Perry and Faisal, who were a part of EG, and get to take them down now. I know, maybe a little bit of extra motivation. I'd like to think so if they're keeping receipts. And this team's looking for any reason to have a chip on their shoulder. And God, they look good with it, man. Just cannot say enough good things about Fear. And also, I do have to mention, that's a huge win, given that this is a provisional team. I know we're trying not to talk about them as one, because they're damn good in the league. They're a threat to win the whole damn thing. But winning in the upper bracket, of course, the bottom 4 teams that we have from this tournament will enter the promotion relegation tournament. That win, very big for Fear to, create some space between them and the rest of our provisional teams.
Exactly that. But after a short little break here, we will get an interview with one of the members from Fear, so we'll catch you right after.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back for our post-series interview. I have Perry, jungler from Cincinnati Fear, after a 2-0 over Evil Geniuses. Congratulations, Perry, a big win for you.
Yeah, feels great. I mean, there's a 2-0, and 2-0s always feel good. So.
Especially given who your opponent was, because the big history lesson for anybody listening and watching who's not aware is that you were on Evil Genius's Prodigies last year in spring. Faisal was on through summer, one of your teammates. So the two of you had a little bit of history with this org. How much more did it mean, knowing that you weren't signed by the org last year, but being able to prove that, hey, you're already knocking them into the lower bracket, so maybe they missed out on something?
I mean, it always feels good to beat a team that you were like previously on, like the organization. I mean, it's like Dignitas as well. Like, I mean, if we ever get to face them off, like, I'm sure I'll play a lot better. I'm sure I'll feel a lot more motivated to win. But, like, it feels good beating Evil Geniuses. I mean, they made some choices with their rosters, and here we are proving that, maybe they didn't make the best choices. So.
Now, last year on Dignitas, you were coming in kind of in a substitute position rather than a full starter position for Dignitas in summer. But when you were a starter for EGP back in spring, you dropped first round with Faisal on your team. So what kind of lessons did the two of you learn from last year that you applied to this time first round?
I mean, both of us were kind of rookies at the time, like super fresh players. There was no leader on the team. I mean, that roster was kind of not the greatest. So, I mean, we learned a lot of things. Like, both of us have gotten, like, a whole year of experience now. And, whether or not it had to do with the EGP, wherever we could be, I think after a year of experience, we're proving to everyone that, like, we deserve to be where we are. It's not just luck.
I also think just from your gameplay and the general energy from the team, it feels like everyone's feeling good about this run. We saw the emote spamming happening in the game.
Yeah.
What's making you feel yourself so much right now? Because this seems like such a fresh energy for the team.
I mean, I'm just happy when I'm on Wukong. I love the champion. I think the champ's broken. I feel good on Wukong, and it's just I've built a lot of confidence over the last few months. I think getting booted off EGP was not a great start to my confidence, to my career. And then in the summer, didn't really get too much success on 300 on my previous team. Dignitas gave me a huge boost of confidence, gave me a huge realization of what the pro scene felt like. And with my success, going to finals, and these past few months, I finally built a lot of confidence. And, I'm just here playing on the Rift, enjoying myself, and I feel good. I just feel really good playing the game. I'm enjoying it a lot. So
I like that. And everyone's different. So when you're in those moments where confidence is waning a little bit, what do you do to get back to that position, that mentality that, hey, I need to perform. I need to get on stage and actually do my job for my team?
Yeah, see, that's the thing. There's always a few scrim blocks where us as a team, we don't have the best success. We get smashed here and there. Our scrim rate is not that high, I will say. So confidence runs low, but I think just venting for myself, letting people know how I'm feeling, and I have these pre-game rituals I do. Like recently, for these matches, I have a math game where I just do simple addition, and I did it on Dignitas too. Like every single time before I played a match, I would just do math, and it just got my brain working, and it got myself centered, and got myself feeling good, and I don't know, just recentering myself really helps. So.
That's fantastic. I'm a Yu-Gi-Oh player, so quick addition, subtraction, I love it as well. Quick, what's 1800 plus 1700?
3500.
You got it.
Yeah,
well
yeah.
done.
Yeah,
I had to give it my second for a second. You mentioned the scrims and how they've been going. This is also an interesting situation everybody's in because we're playing on 13.5. You've only had a few days to practice. So what was practice like this week going into the weekend games?
So there's a lot of trying new champs, but I will say there is some messed up stuff going on in our team environment.
Okay.
Messed up stuff.
All right, let's hear about it. Air it out. Air it out.
Teammates muting each other in the middle of the game. Just random stuff going on. People not really wanting to playing, FFing, remaking. It's messed up. There's some messed up stuff. But, whenever we get to game day, we put all that stuff behind us and we play together as a team.
That's good. That's important. That's the important end step there. Are you going to name names? Who's muting in scrim blogs?
I can't name names. I'm not naming names. There's no names to be named.
All right, Fred, I think that just means it's yourself. So thank you, Perry, for outing yourself like that. I want to go to the future because your next round opponent will either be Golden Guardians Challengers or AOE. First off, thoughts on that match? Who do you predict to win? And then how do you see yourself stacking up against them?
I think it's Golden Guardians that are going to win. And I think when we play them, just like what happened in the tiebreaker match, it's not going to be close. Doesn't matter what champs they give us. It's not going to be close. They can't ban out all our champs. They can't ban out all our one tricks. They can't ban out all our priority picks. We're going to have a good draft. We're going to have a good game. And I'm confident we'll have a good series. So.
Love to hear it. Now, this is the anime tournament arc of power right now. So every good anime arc in a tournament setting has a rival. Who's on your hit list? Name a jungler that you want to go up against and take out in this bracket.
Yukino Cat. I don't know if it's in my bracket. He's in my side of the
yeah,
bracket.
is he on your side?
I don't think so, actually. It's not. He's not.
on the other side.
He's on the other
so
side.
that means
So
either
we
it's
won't
going to be
beat
a finals matchup or upper finals matchup or a lower bracket matchup.
Yeah, it's just Yukino Cat. He's the youngest jungler by far, I think. He's got an academy job. I don't even have an academy job. So I want to play Yukino Cat, and I want to have a good match against him.
All right. Well, I'll be asking him as well. Hopefully he says you, because that would make it even more hype. Thank you so much, Barry, for coming on. Any final shout-outs before we let you go?
Yeah, I want to shout out my family. My mom's always supporting me, #1 supporter. My girlfriend, she's always here, always helping me out. Our coach is doing a great job. He's remote. He's trying his hardest, and we're making things happen. Performance coach always getting us to the gym. There's crazy stuff going on, but he's always pulling through, doing what he can. And my entire team, all the ups and downs, we're still together. We're still a team. We still perform on game day, so that's what matters. So.
Thank you so much. Shout out to everybody who helps Cincinnati Fury succeed. We'll be cheering for you going on in the bracket. And with that said, we're going to send it to a short break before we get ready for our second series of the day, so don't go anywhere.